Top 5 Fastest Dying Cities in Australia. Australia is a land of diverse cities, famous for its thriving metropolises like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. But beyond these booming hubs are towns and cities struggling to survive. Australia's landscape is dotted with smaller cities and towns once known for booming industries, whether it was mining, agriculture, or manufacturing. However, with the shifts in these industries, many places are now struggling with job losses, aging populations, and declining resources. In this video, we're exploring 5 of Australia's fastest dying cities, understanding why populations are declining, what challenges these cities face, and if there's any hope for a comeback. Here are 5 Australian cities that have been hit the hardest. 1. Broken Hill, New South Wales. Known for its mining history, Broken Hill was once one of Australia's most productive mining towns. In fact, it's sometimes called the Silver City for its massive silver deposits. But as mining production slowed, so did the town's economic growth. Broken Hill's economy is still somewhat connected to mining, but dwindling resources have led to a significant drop in the local workforce. Broken Hill is located in far western New South Wales, about 1,160 kilometers from Sydney. Its remote location makes it less attractive to newcomers and businesses, as well as challenging for residents to access services and amenities commonly found in larger, more connected areas. Without major new investments, the town has struggled to develop the amenities, transportation, and services that would make it more appealing for new residents and businesses. Despite these challenges, Broken Hill is still making efforts to rebrand as an arts and tourism destination, leveraging its unique history, architecture, and the surrounding outback landscapes. But reversing the decline will require further investments, support, and a broader economic base to make the town a viable option for residents long-term. 2. Whyalla, South Australia. Whyalla has historically relied heavily on its steelworks for employment and economic stability. The steelworks, originally established to take advantage of the area's iron ore resources, was the town's primary industry for decades. However, global shifts in steel demand, increased competition, and volatile commodity prices have put significant pressure on Whyalla's steel industry. Over the years, the decline in steel manufacturing has led to job losses and economic uncertainty. Like many towns with a single industry focus, Whyalla has struggled to diversify its economy. While some efforts have been made to explore renewable energy and other industries, these haven't yet reached a scale that could offset the declines in the steel sector. Without a more diversified economy, Whyalla remains vulnerable to market shifts in steel and mining, leading to ongoing population losses as people seek stable work in larger cities. Despite these challenges, Whyalla is actively exploring ways to secure its future. Initiatives include investments in renewable energy, with plans for solar and hydrogen projects, and further efforts to modernize the steelworks. If these efforts succeed, they could provide new economic avenues and help revitalize Whyalla. However, reversing the decline will require substantial and sustained investment, economic diversification, and efforts to attract and retain younger residents and new industries. 3. Queenstown, Tasmania. Moving to Tasmania, we find Queenstown, a city surrounded by some of Australia's most breathtaking landscapes. But this picturesque town has faced a long decline. Queenstown's growth and prosperity were historically built on copper mining, which dates back to the late 19th century. The Mount Lyell Mining and Railway Company once made Queenstown one of Tasmania's richest mining towns, supporting a booming population and economy. However, over the years, declining global copper prices and exhaustion of accessible resources have led to significant reductions in mining activity, job losses, and mine closures. The closure of the Mount Lyell copper mine in 2014 was a major blow, as it was one of the area's largest employers and economic drivers. Decades of mining took an environmental toll on Queenstown. The surrounding hills were stripped of vegetation due to mining-related deforestation and pollution, which created a stark landscape. Although these unique, barren hills are now a draw for some tourists, the environmental damage has affected local agriculture, water quality, and air quality, limiting other avenues for economic growth and development. While Queenstown is still popular with niche tourism markets, such as history enthusiasts and adventure tourists, sustaining a stable, year-round economy remains a significant challenge. Some residents and town officials are hopeful that continued investment in tourism, coupled with local arts and environmental restoration projects, can provide a more diverse economic base. However, without significant new industries or infrastructure, Queenstown's future remains uncertain, and reversing the population decline will likely require substantial support and innovative development strategies. 4. Port Pirie, South Australia. Port Pirie's economy has historically been dominated by its lead smelter, which has been in operation since 1889 and is one of the largest lead smelters in the world. While this smelter has been a major source of employment, the global decline in manufacturing and fluctuations in lead demand have impacted the smelter's profitability. This dependence on a single industry has left Port Pirie vulnerable to market shifts and economic downturns, as there are limited alternative job opportunities outside of smelting. Although the lead smelter remains operational, environmental concerns around lead exposure have led to health and safety regulations that limit production. Many families are concerned about the town's future and seek better options elsewhere. The lead smelter has raised significant health and environmental concerns due to its emissions. Lead exposure, particularly in children, has been linked to health issues, and Port Pirie has higher rates of lead-related health concerns than many other Australian towns. This has led to government interventions and a variety of health initiatives to reduce exposure. But the stigma around pollution remains, making it harder to attract new families and residents to the area. Parents are especially concerned about raising children in an environment with potential health risks. Despite these challenges, Port Pirie is taking steps to address some of these issues. The South Australian government has provided support for health programs and environmental improvements, and efforts are being made to diversify the economy. If Port Pirie can successfully modernize its smelting operations, reduce environmental health risks, and attract new industries, it may be able to stem its population decline and secure a more sustainable future. However, overcoming the town's dependence on the smelter and the associated challenges will require ongoing commitment and investment. 5. Burnie, Tasmania. Burnie was historically an industrial center, with paper manufacturing, forestry, and port operations serving as its economic backbone. The city was home to a major paper mill, one of the largest employers in the area for decades. However, with the decline of the forestry and paper industries and global shifts in manufacturing, the paper mill closed in 2010. This closure resulted in significant job losses and left a large economic gap that has been difficult to fill. Burnie's reliance on manufacturing and heavy industry limited the development of other sectors, leaving the local economy vulnerable to industry shifts. While there have been attempts to diversify, including efforts in tourism, agriculture, and education, these industries have not fully compensated for the lost manufacturing jobs. The lack of a broad economic base has limited job opportunities, making it challenging to attract and retain residents. While Burnie's coastal and mountainous surroundings are scenic, they also limit development opportunities and make it challenging to expand infrastructure. Additionally, the natural beauty of the area has not yet translated into a major tourism boom, partly because of competition with more prominent Tasmanian destinations like Hobart and Launceston. Burnie's location and smaller airport can also make it less accessible to tourists. Regardless of these challenges, Burnie is making efforts to revitalize. The University of Tasmania has expanded its presence in the area, hoping to draw students and young professionals. There's also growing interest in ecotourism and promoting Burnie's natural beauty. If Burnie can successfully rebrand and attract diverse investments, it may be able to stabilize its population and build a more resilient economy. However, addressing the structural challenges of limited diversification and an aging population will be critical for its long-term success. But why are people leaving? First, economic shifts have hit some of these towns hard. When mines shut down, the jobs disappear, and so do the people. Many of these communities were almost entirely dependent on a single industry. Without it, the entire local economy struggles to survive. It's estimated that towns dependent on single industries can experience population declines of up to 40% when those industries dry up. Then there's agriculture. Many of Australia's inland towns rely heavily on farming, but recent years have brought intense droughts, water shortages, and the looming threat of climate change. Farmers face rising costs, unpredictable yields, and lower profits, which forces them to either leave or downsize their operations. There's also a demographic shift. Young people often leave smaller towns for cities in search of education, jobs, and lifestyle options. As younger generations move out, the remaining population gets older. With fewer young families settling down, schools, hospitals, and other essential services face cuts, and the cycle of decline continues. So is there hope for these cities? Some towns are fighting back, investing in new industries like renewable energy, tourism, and technology. Government programs aim to support regional areas with grants and infrastructure improvements to encourage people to stay. Digital connectivity has also opened the possibility of remote work, which could allow people to work from these beautiful regional locations while staying connected to job markets in the big cities. Australia's fastest dying cities tell a story of change. Whether they will adapt and thrive or continue to decline depends on both innovation and support. It's a balancing act between preserving history and embracing the future. Thanks for joining us on this journey through Australia's fastest dying cities. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more explorations of life across Australia.